Hi, Scott.
Hey, Dave. Welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews review of A Christmas
Story.
Yes.
We said
this
that
is a classic. What's that?
I said we said that almost in unison.
We did. We this is episode 75.
Is it? No, it's more than that.
No, I think it's 75. No. Yeah, 75. 75.
78 by the time this one goes up, I think. I could be wrong, but didn't you just post something?
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I can't count. We're in the 70s.
Numbers.
I forgot. We record way out of order.
It's insane how long we've been doing this, isn't it?
We do half episode. Yeah, we've been doing this a while. So
I like talking movies with you, man.
Yeah, this is probably episode 78, 79, something like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fucking fun.
It is fucking fun. We're having a good fucking time. People like me.
Time. Yeah.
Show off our shirts again because we only did it once before.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at the professional shirts. Yes.
Yay. Fucking awesome. Okay.
Enough of that.
Enough of that. It's an awesome shirt. Wish I knew who the hell designed it, but you know.
I don't know. Some monkey jackass down in Schwartz.
Schwartz?
I don't know. May the Schwartz be with you.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. So anyway.
Down in Griffin, Indiana.
Yeah. Speaking of Indiana, isn't that where...
that's where this story takes place.
That's where the story takes place. Northern Indiana.
Yes.
This is a... if you have not seen this movie, stop right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Go watch this.
Because we are going to spoil everything about this movie for you.
And what would surprise me is if you don't already have it known and spoiled, because A Christmas Story is one of these movies that, like all of them that we are reviewing this month, they're iconic. It's part of American pop culture.
Yeah.
I was in Walmart over the weekend, and they have a nice stack out of Red Ryder BB guns in the original boxes.
Where?
That was in Pace at the Walmart.
Mine doesn't have any.
Yeah, I saw.
I would have bought one.
Holy shit, that's really cool. With a compass in the stock.
With a compass in the stock and a thing that tells time.
Yeah, a thing that tells time. A thing that tells time. Oh my God. I was going to get one, but then my wife says, you'll shoot your eye out. So it's like...
the classic block.
The desperados will be trying to get in the house. Yeah, the bandits.
You got to get a silver shirt with glitters on.
This is a fun movie.
Yes, it is.
I don't think I have to explain much about the premise of this, because most people, if you're listening to this, you've seen this movie multiple times. It's on every year. Some channels on cable used to run it on a marathon for 24/7.
I think he still does, doesn't he? Doesn't TBS still run it?
Probably.
That's fun.
Since we moved into the streaming age, I haven't had real TV in many, many years. So I just hit play when I want to see A Christmas Story.
Real quick, the breakdown for anybody who hasn't even heard or know what this is about. Little Ralphie Parker wants one thing for Christmas: a BB gun. And not just any BB gun. He wants a Red Ryder special. It's I'm not even going to describe it because we just kind of described the BB gun in one shot. But it's so funny. The kid is trying through the whole movie to make sure his mom knows that Santa knows that he wants a Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah.
And it takes place in northern Indiana, like you said.
Yeah.
1938, 37, 38 is when the time period is supposed to be. And it is so freaking funny. I've talked to people that don't know. You were in Indiana, right? Or Illinois?
I was in Illinois.
Oh, Jesus. There you go. It's just as bad. I lived up in Michigan, just outside of Detroit, on the southeastern.
It gets fucking cold.
It's fucking cold. And there's a lot of snow because of the lake effect snow. And if you've been living down in Florida or out west and you have no idea what lake effect snow is like, It's bad. It can get really deep and it can get really snowy. But I've talked to people that have never had to bundle up like that, like Ralphie's little brother.
You know, I was Ralphie's little brother as a kid. I remember playing in the snowdrifts, having so many layers of socks you can't even get your fucking boots on.
Oh my God. I do remember that. I remember, and then you come in because you get so cold that you literally can't feel any part of your body.
Oh my God.
You go inside, you strip everything off, and if you
now you're on fire.
If you don't have a fireplace, you hang your clothes up near a heater, or like we used to have the old water I'm not sure what they were called. The
radiators.
Like radiators, steam heaters, right? There's the radiators. Yeah. And you throw your clothes on there, you throw something on there, and if it was on, you hear it go, and the steam would just come up, and you throw all your clothes up, let them dry, and they dried quick if you had one of those heaters, man. They dried really damn quick. Put everything back on and go back outside and play.
That's how it was in school. All the schools I was at had radiators. Yeah. And if you were smart, you would try and get every class. You would want to try and be sitting by the radiators because come wintertime, it got fucking cold in that 200-year-old school building. You know, it's like,
hell yeah, it did. Oh my Lord. You did not want to be sitting by one of those freaking windows. That's for sure.
No, but unfortunately, our radiators were right by the fucking windows, so you had a little bit of both.
Yeah, so you had the cold air, but the heat was blowing on you too.
Yeah, so it was actually really comfortable.
It's just perfect. It's just perfect.
Just right.
He goes. What's funny is he goes to Warren G. Harding School.
Yeah.
Like one of the worst presidents that ever existed.
I caught that last night, and I never paid much attention to last night. I'll come back to it, but there's something else I caught last night that I had never caught before, or just slipped my mind, and I was just laughing so much.
That's funny, and I was just thinking because they showed the outside of the school, and I'm not sure what year they said the school was built. I've been watching another show called The Road Trip for Ralphie, right. And this couple is going around and finding the locations. I mentioned this last week or a couple weeks ago. And what's going on is I'm looking at the school. I'm like, oh my God, when I lived in Ecorse and in Wyandotte, I went to schools that looked just like that.
Dude, I said to my wife
School 3. I mean, the inside looked just, I was like, what the hell, did North America just have a stamp that they went around and made these schools?
Well, I said that to Janine last night as we're watching this. I said, oh my God, that looks just like my high school. And it does look just like her grade school and everybody else. All these schools look alike. I said, oh my God, every school at least in the Midwest looked like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that something? It's crazy.
It is. It's crazy.
The wife said the same thing to me. She went to school in, I forgot what town it was in Michigan. And she's like, that looks just like the school I went to.
So the Midwest had built all their schools the same. I don't know if it's nationwide, but I know for at least we know in Michigan and Illinois.
Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, up in Ontario, all that.
They're all the same.
North America was just, we got one school. Well, how many floors? 2 floors. Might put a 3rd floor on it, but
they all look the same on the outside. It's insane. There was where I grew up, there was a primary school that looked like that. Then a grade school, and then grade school, junior high looked just like that, and then the high school looked just like that. They've torn it all down, and it's all modern now. But it's like, man, that was really cool.
Yeah, they
seeing that reminded me of that.
I think they had to blow one of ours up. Like the wrecking balls couldn't take it down.
Well, it's that asbestos that held it together.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't have any problems with asbestos. Made me what I am today. I just remember them trying to knock the thing down, and they wound up having to blow it up.
Wow!
Like, to take the damn building down, they had to go in and drop it new school, not old school. But it's funny when they named it Warren G. Harding. 1938, and his little Ralphie, his whole thing, like I said, is getting the BB gun. And one of the earliest moments is when he puts the ad for the Red Ryder in his mom's Look magazine. It's like some kind of movie magazine, gossip magazine. And he's sliding the page in there. And he sets it ever so gently
right on the
bed for her to see. He says she's not going to be able to help but see this.
He had it all planned out. Man. You know, I love this movie because it shows such I think everybody can relate to this. I mean, we all had something, I think, as kids growing up or even as adults that we really, really want. Right. How are we going to get it? And so I think Ralphie is an incredibly relatable character.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so funny when he would come to the teacher and he would just stand at the desk, just stare. And she's
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
He's trying to get the teacher to go to bat for him for his BB gun.
So he wrote that theme paper. It's going to be the best damn one ever. And
I love that. I love when the teacher's sitting there. I want you to write a theme. And the whole class in unison. Except for Ralphie. He's like, aha. I know exactly what I'm going to write about. And his theme,
what I want for Christmas.
What I want for Christmas. That's it.
Yeah.
And he already knows what he's going to write. It's
not a football.
Not a football. I don't think a football makes a very good gift.
Yes.
His little brother was just so sufferable.
Let me talk about Randy real quick. My favorite scene in this movie deals with Randy, and it's when
it's got to be
when he's not eating. Who's mommy's little piggy? Who's mommy's little piggy? And Randy takes the plate and he's
just show mommy how piggy eats.
Show how mommy how piggy eats. Okay, the actress, I forgot to look her name up. Whoever it was that played
Melinda. It's Melinda Dillon.
She's awesome.
I've seen her in so much stuff. She's great.
You can see her in this. Mm-hmm. This mother is starting to crack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She really is. It's on the surface. You know she's fucking fed up. She hasn't had a hot meal in years.
My mother hasn't had a hot meal for herself in 15 years.
And she has to deal with this, and she's got such a laughter and a look in her eyes. It's like, I saw that scene last night. This is the first time I've looked at it with a critical eye and said, she fucking brought it in that because it's just, it's so subtle. She's
cracking up.
It's great.
I think that's an actual laugh from her too. I think
it probably is, but it comes off like, oh, it's over, and it's like, this is awesome. It just leads more into when she finally has enough and breaks the fucking lamp.
Let's talk about the lamp.
Let's talk about Fragile, a major award. It's a major award.
Major award. When the old man finally wins something, he's been filling out these stupid contests, crossword puzzles and stuff. And one of the crossword puzzles is famous. Who was it?
Famous Hollywood.
Famous characters of literature. Yeah. And it was, what is the Lone Ranger's nephew's horse? It's
Victor.
Victor. He's like, how do you know that? She goes, everybody knows that. It's like, everybody knows the Lone Ranger's nephew's horse. He fills out all these things. He finally wins. This huge box comes in. And what I love is a subtle joke, is all the arrows are pointing up. This end up. How many times in our job have we seen this end up pointing down on the ground?
Every fucking day.
Every fucking day. Retail, they don't give a shit about which ends up.
No, not at all.
But this freaking box is made of wood. It's about 6 foot tall. They bring it to the door. They're getting ready to take it off the dolly. And before they leave, the arrows are pointing up. Everything's been good to this point. They lay it down on its side. And the old man is, oh, look, Fragile. Must be Italian. It's the greatest joke. Yeah. I still say it. It's so stupid.
It is so stupid.
And then the wife is like, I think that's fragile, dear. Oh, yeah. The old man just plays that clueless dad.
What I love about him, and he did such a good part. I mean, such a good job with this role.
Yeah.
when he's cracking up and he's like cussing up a storm, making up all these words, and you hear him laughing and just screaming and everything. It's so deranged, and it's the funniest fucking thing ever. And it's like, my God, it's done so well. It's awesome.
It took me, I don't know how many viewings before I realized his darn farfel-nagan, hargan, fagan, fergan, frag, that was supposed to be swearing. But Ralphie, as a little kid, doesn't know all the swear words.
Yeah.
And in his memory, he just remembers the old man yelling a lot. You know, he knows he's swearing, but he doesn't know what the hell he said. So that's all part of the memory of the old man swearing, you know?
Yeah. And that reminds me of one of the way Ralphie describes his old man. He's one of the great furnace fighters
in the Midwest.
Yes, the furnace fighter. Because he thought of the challenge when that furnace started to go down. Look, it's important. When you live up north, you want your fucking heat.
Oh, especially back in the old days. I remember one of the houses me and my mom lived in was an old school furnace, very much along those lines. And I tell you, those things were freaking awful. But when they were running, they were hot as hell, man. You had to open up windows to cool it off just so you could sit. But when they went out, oh my God, they were horrible. The place would just freeze. But I like whatever he's talking about. My old man was. Some people are Baptist, some people are Methodist. My father was an Oldsmobile man, and the dad's swearing when he comes through the door. Someone fraffing half a nigger, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
that car would freeze up if it was on the equator.
But it's like when the furnace went down, it was funny because he portrayed it as a challenge.
Yeah.
It's on.
His eyes light up. Yeah. Oh. It's so good.
I love this movie. I can't say a negative thing about it. And it's rare that I have movies that I can't say anything negative about.
It's a good movie. Darren McGavin plays the old man.
Oh, and he's great.
What else was he in?
The name is very familiar, but
he played the Night Stalker in the old series, The Night Stalkers, the guy who was always fighting demons and monsters. He was a newspaper man. He worked for like a National Enquirer type newspaper.
Right.
And he'd always fight like vampires and stuff like that. He was the Night Stalker.
Oh, how about that?
Oh yeah, that's a good series. If anybody's out there and hasn't seen it,
to look at it.
Yeah, when you watch it, I'm sure you'll look at it and go, "Oh my God, I remember this."
Yeah.
But there was like 2 or 3 movies. Some of them are on YouTube. 2 or 3 Night Stalker movies with Darren McGavin. He's got the white suit with the blue pinstripe. I forgot what that's called. Very Southern lawyer. Every Southern lawyer wears it, you know. And he's got the little straw hat with the press card in his hat. He plays that part so well. So well. And the old man was the first thing that I saw him in that wasn't him playing serious.
Ah.
So it was like, holy crap. The first time I saw this movie, I was just dying. I kept waiting for him to like stake a vampire or something.
Nope, not this time.
Who else? Ian Petrella is the kid who played Randy.
Yeah.
And I think, no, that's somebody else. It's the little sidekick thug, the little short sidekick kid.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of.
Oh man, I can't think Gil something.
Yeah, I don't even see his name on my list of names here.
Yeah.
But Grover Dill.
That's
Grover Dill. Let's see if I can make out his name. Yano Anaya. Yano Anaya was or is, I don't know if he still is, but he was doing like life coaching and bodybuilding and motivational speaker type stuff. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. I mean, you go from Grover Gill to
wow,
a positive influence in somebody's life, and that's one of those things that I came across on the Ralphie Road Trip for Ralphie show. Yeah. It's pretty funny. That's worth a watch too. If you see this movie, you got to watch that movie.
I definitely. I love seeing the stuff behind the scenes, how things were made. Mm-hmm. To me, how something's made is almost as entertaining as the actual end product.
Yeah.
And watching the movies that made us on Netflix has really shown a light on that. It's like, wow, it's just really neat to see all this stuff. And these movies that we watch, I bet you if they did something on this, like you're kind of watching, I wonder if they ran into the same problems even getting this produced. Like all these big hits that we see almost never happened. Is this another one that almost never happened?
Well, I know that they wanted to have shit, my mind went blank. He played the Joker in the first Batman movie. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was supposed to play the old man. He read the script. He was for it. He was going to sign, but they couldn't come to the money agreement. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad they got Darren McGavin now.
Exactly.
I could see Nicholson playing it, but I don't think he'd play it. I don't think he'd give it different. I think it'd be a little bit meaner. I could be wrong. Because he can do comedy. I've seen him do comedy, straight up comedy. So he's good at comedy. But I just think it would be really a big difference.
Yeah.
So when they went to Darren McGavin, he was like, sure, I'm in. So it was good that they got him.
That's really cool.
Melinda Dillon is perfect for the mom.
Oh yeah. My God.
Perfect mom. And Peter Billingsley, I never really liked that kid in a whole lot of stuff when I was growing up. I'm thinking he's maybe a little bit younger than me, but not much, I don't think.
Yeah.
But he's in Elf. He's one of the head elves.
Yes, he is an elf.
One of the head elves, which I find very funny. But he's I don't know what he's doing now. He's probably producing or directing or something.
Yeah.
That's what
still getting a check from Christmas Story.
I'm sure he's getting a little bit of a check, especially whenever TBS does it 24 hours. He's like, I'm a little strapped for cash. Ching, thank you.
All right, it must be Christmas time. Here's a nice check.
Yeah, it must be Christmas. Woohoo! My favorite Randy moment, and it's always been this, is when he's getting wrapped up by mom and I can't put my arms down. She's like, put them down when you get to school. And she shoves him out the door. Well, that starts perfect.
When she's doing that, it's so funny because he's whining about it. And as he's whining, she starts wrapping the scarf right back over his mouth. And it pushes him out the door.
Keep going. Boop. How many times did your parents do that shit to you? Yeah. Go outside and play. I don't want to grow.
I can't tell you how many times I was actually out there underdressed.
Oh, yeah. That happens a lot when you're in the Midwest and you're a little kid.
I was like, oops, I think I should have put some more layers on.
But like whenever Randy, he falls behind when they're walking to school, and he kind of falls behind his brother, and the one kid comes by and bumps him and knocks him into the snowdrift, and all you see is him like waddling around like a bug. He's like, "Hey, kid." He's just laying on his back. He can't move. He can't get up of his own accord. That's brilliant. I like Grover Gill. Who's it? Scott Farkas.
Yeah.
He has yellow eyes. So help me, yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes.
Oh,
that was great. That was great casting for both of those characters. Actually, all of them. This movie is very well cast, from the kids to the adults. It's everybody seemed to have a really good time and really brought this story to life. This
is a great, they call it a Christmas story, and it really is a great Christmas story.
Yes,
it shows the one-mindedness of a child, of a little boy, how much he wants this BB gun, and not just any BB gun. It's got to be this special Red Ryder BB gun that he wants.
The compass in the socket, I think it tells time.
Compass in the socket. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. And that's what everybody keeps telling him to.
Even Santa.
Even Santa tells him that. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. The teacher tells him that. The mom tells him that. Santa tells him that. Who else? Everybody keeps telling it. Comes up like 11 or 12 times in the movie. You'll shoot your eye out. And, oh, my God, that just the fact that this kid wants it, and he's been duped. They're there on Christmas Day. He's opened up all his gifts, and the dad looks over at him and is like, "So, Did you get everything you want? And then the kid's like, yeah, I guess. Well, not, whatever. And the dad's just laying there, and he looks over in the corner. He's like, what's that? And the kid's like, what? He's like, there's something in the corner over there. So it's behind the desk. And the kid's like, starts getting excited. He gets up, he runs over there. Ralphie's looking, and the wife is looking at the father.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Yeah, she's like, what's that? He's like, oh, Santa probably forgot it or left it. And the dad, you can see in that father's eyes, he's just as excited. He is reliving that moment of him being a 9-year-old while he watches his son open that gift.
Yeah.
And there was a moment, the best acting I've ever seen. And it's very subtle. It's only like a 3-second, maybe max point, where as the kid's opening up the present, the dad's all excited. The mom looks at the father, and it's that chemistry that Morticia and Gomez have.
Yeah.
She looks at him, and she just falls all in love with that dad all over again.
Yeah.
And you realize that father isn't as out of touch with this family as he appears to be.
No.
He literally, at that point, you realize he knows more about what's going on inside that house and outside that house than he just doesn't need to get involved because the wife is taking care of it. So he doesn't get involved with it. That back then, that was the mom's job. You know, you take care of the kids. I'll come home and, pat you on the butt and kiss you on the cheek and eat your food that you cooked for me. That was the guy's job back then. But you realize that the father was much more involved than probably a lot of fathers in that time period would have been.
Yeah.
And he gets the kid his BB gun, the BB gun he wants. And that, to me, that's like one of the most touching moments in that entire movie.
It is.
When he's watching the kid and she just looks at him, and it's like, you see it. She moves her eyes in a certain way, the slight grin across her face, watching him watch the kid. And she's just like, this is why I married this guy. This is why I love him. You just see it for that moment. You're like, oh my God, what subtle and brilliant acting on both of their parts. For me, that was like, that's the moment that makes that whole movie for me.
Yeah. You see in this movie what a loving family they are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I love the ending of this movie so much when they go to the Chinese bowling alley restaurant.
Yeah.
And the Chinese wait staff is trying to sing fa la la, but it's fa ra ra. And
there's something about that too. I watched another thing. It was like a 15-minute documentary, really mini documentary of just things that happened throughout the movie and what happened. And they talk about that scene. And the director came up and said, hey, I think I have a funny idea, but I want to make sure that this isn't going to offend anybody. What do you guys think? And he brought it up to them. He's like, you don't have to do it. This could just be a serving scene. It's not a big deal. And these guys loved it. They were all like, no, I think they said none of these guys spoke with any kind of accent.
So they were like,
this is
that
brilliant.
makes it even better.
This is freaking funny. And they show every time the guys are singing, the head guy, the owner, is always turning his back and he's just laughing. And I think Melinda Dillon is laughing. I honestly don't
she is. She's laughing the whole.
She realized what these guys were going to do. Like when they start singing, I think that's an actual laugh on her part because she's just like, "Oh my God!" And you see the laugh, and it's far. And then they start trying to sing "Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells," and that's the whole fucking place. I cry every year when I watch that. I'm like, "This is the funniest." And then to find out that these guys wanted to do it, they're like, no, this is brilliant. This is funny. And they came up with the songs that would work. Like that would get that accent out there even more. And they're like, no. If you want to sing this is, this is what we're going to do. And I thought that was freaking hysterical. That's acting. That's actors that are not afraid to step in it and just push through no matter what.
And the thing is, I don't want to ever say anybody's overly sensitive, but people are overly sensitive.
People are always overly sensitive, Scott.
when it comes to, I mean, it's a joke. It's made a lot about flied lice, L's and R's. It's true. Yeah. Stereotypes are founded usually in some sort of or jokes are founded in some sort of truth. I'm not an expert, a linguist or anything like that, but I did spend 2 years in Okinawa where I had somebody tell me, take a light at the right. So that's all I'm going to say on that. It does. It's because taking that language and going to English, a language that doesn't have that R sound or the L's the way they do, it makes it very complicated. Right. We find it funny. I find it absolutely fucking hilarious when they were singing in the restaurant. So
absolutely.
2021, I don't know if that played out.
I would imagine that there are Japanese movies and Chinese movies and Korean movies that they show the white guys trying to speak Japanese or Korean or
my God, I'm sure
Mandarin, and they're just totally destroying it. There's got to be there. I don't know that I might be able to pull off Japanese because it's a more subtle language. It's more breathy. Yeah. But Chinese, I don't know if I could pull off Chinese.
Yeah,
I mean, I've listened to some of that stuff on Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Japanese, I was doing okay with whenever I was doing that, but I don't know anybody Japanese to speak to, so
Yeah, that's the problem.
Keep that up. It's like, well, why am I learning this? I don't have anyone to talk to.
But it'd be fun. But yeah, that's one of the things that makes this movie funny. It's just really fucking funny, and it's the Chinese guys fucking doing it.
Yeah, the Chinese guys doing it. But the great thing is that this whole show, like you said, it's about this family and just the Christmas season. It's a very short slice of their life for the Christmas season, and it's so damn funny. The kids has his friends, and his friends are just as messed up as he is. He's got the two kids that are trying to pick on him that are the bullies of the school, who wind up really they go one step too far is all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah.
They push Ralphie one step too far on the wrong day.
And you see what happens.
It's bad enough.
Yeah, you see what happens with that. Ralphie is convinced he's in trouble because he was messing up a storm while he was beating the hell out of him. But Mom stepped in, and Ralphie, when you see in his eyes, when he realizes he's not in trouble.
Yeah, she's not going to rat me out.
No.
Mom's not going to turn me into that.
That was a good moment. There's a lot of neat little moments in this movie. Yeah.
Very sweet. And the brothers under the sink.
Dad's gonna kill Ralphie. So she's like, "You want some milk? Give him some milk and pull him back under the sink."
Doesn't the dad come home and he's still under the sink, and he comes out and the dad's just looking at him under the sink and shakes his head like.
That's just it. His looks were beautiful. It's like you can tell his brain is like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, in this house? Like that's just a strange kid. Like he just looks at Randy like that is just a strange kid.
I'll give him something to cry about. I've heard that before.
Yeah, no kidding. How many times? How many times did you hear that? Oh, Lord. Growing up in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I'll give me something to cry about. If I didn't have something to cry about, I wouldn't be crying.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that. So, final thoughts on Christmas Story?
You have to watch this movie. If you haven't seen it yet, please go watch it. Make it a yearly ritual. I do. Yeah. I will watch this movie at least 3 times a year.
Wow.
And back when I used to have, I know, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Back when I used to have like regular TV, I think this year I'm going to look for it and see if I can get in TBS. I don't know if we can get it down here by the antenna or not, but if we do,
I doubt it.
If we do, I'll turn it on the 24-hour shot. I will definitely watch it. It's one of the best Christmassy movies out there. Makes you feel good.
It does,
especially when he's talking to Santa.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. This is a top Christmas movie. It is a feel good movie. It's full of a lot of heart, a lot of love, a lot of Christmas spirit, if you will. It's a must watch. I haven't watched it in That's probably the first time in almost 10 years since I've seen it.
Really?
But dude, I've seen it so much I can still damn near quote the entire thing.
Yeah,
It's one of those that if it's on, I can watch it. It will never be like, oh shit, this again. It's like, oh, I'm in. Yeah. If I walk by a TV and it's on, I'm going to get stuck. You know, it's like, whoa, whoa, what's that?
Right.
You know? So
that's funny.
It is a must watch movie. So,
I think so.
That being said, thank you for sticking with us through the month of December. Our next episode will be a recap of the entire year. This is Dave and I's second recap.
Second year
in review coming up.
2 freaking years.
And we made it up to maybe 4 listeners. So
4 listeners! You are the strong.
Yes. I wish there was something we could give you, but we're poor because we only have 4 listeners.
Yeah. If we had like 500,000 or 1 million,
it might be another story.
Somehow we might be doing. I don't know what we do. Maybe we put them on DVD and sell them. I don't know.
So keeping with the Christmas spirit, share, tell a friend, get us out there. You know, that'd be the best Christmas gift you can give Dave and I is
pour us out. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the show.
And if you want your product shown on our YouTube videos, send it. Reach out to me. I'll take it. I will display it, you know, and I'll take sponsorships.
Here's the caveat. Please, no pornography stuff. Okay?
Oh, no.
I mean,
that's
nothing like that. Okay, folks? Just
really.
Beer, wine, T-shirts.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
Yeah.
No porno.
No. So with that being said, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and make sure you join us before the year ends for our yearly recap. Thanks again and Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas.